lilewake ufita mahumo ufita liwupilo huwena yakiti ufita lilewake ufita mahumo ufita liwupilo huwena yakiti ufita lilewake ufitisha mahumoshe ufita liwupilo ririwena wena yakiti ufita lilewake ufita mahumoshe ufita liwupilo kudira likamuho felaba wadira kamusa felaba kudira likamuhoni felaba wadira kamusani liwutufe felaba ruena yakiti ufita lilewake ufitisha mahumoshe ufita liwupilo huwena yakiti ufita lilewake ufita mahumo ufita liwupilo urira likawukhoni felaba vela, wanira, wanira, ibutu, vela, wanira, wanira, libutu vela vyaga, wanira, wanira, libutu vela vyaga, waridire, 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 nikamuho, vela, vela, wanira, wanira, libutu Wandira kabuhlali libutu vela wena wandira kabuhlali libutu vela waridirela, wandira kabuhlali libutu vela
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And here we are this morning. Here we are this morning. Here we are this morning. I'm also on Instagram Live. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'm so happy to be with you this morning. It's Pastor Ntabise Mwepe. For those of you who don't know me, but I know that most of you follow me on the social media platforms. So it's a beautiful Monday morning, and we've just played through the song Mudimu Yatleching. It's from the album The Living Word. It's one of my favorite projects right now that I'm listening to on repeat. And it's by the gentleman Kucho Malete. He's someone who wrote beautiful songs, and it's packaged in this beautiful project that is currently available on all digital media platform on digital platforms. So get yourself a copy and just listen to it, and I'm sure you will be blessed. This morning, it's a little bit chilly. I'm in Polokwane, guys. I reside in Polokwane, those of you who don't know, but this is my hometown, and I'm a proud resident of Polokwane. So you can follow me as we are embarking on Monday, Motivational Mondays. And I'm not only on this platform on Facebook, I am also under the handle Ntabise Mwepe. That's Mwepe with an Ngoepe. And you can also check my handle at Instagram. Check me as Ntabise Mwepe. And there's also my page, Ntabis underscore space. And then also I'm available on YouTube on Unfiltered with Ntabis Ngwepe. So from whichever platform that you're coming through, whichever platform that you're joining me from this morning, shout out and just wave your hand and say hi, hi, hi. It's a beautiful Monday morning. I hope you're having a blast. I'm having a blast. I started my morning with a bang. It's Mondays, and I would get like, you get that babalas sort of, I don't know what they call it, but but like it's a hangover. So for me, I usually have a hangover from my Sundays because my Sundays are so hectic. So I did yesterday's service, and then I ministered in the service, and then I had an interview straight after the service, and then I went and I did collect a meal drive. So my Sundays are very packed; they are very busy. So yesterday it was just extra, 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 extra now because of that interview I did on Women Air Radio. So those of you who could tune into that interview, thank you so much for tuning in. And those of you who didn't get the opportunity, it's available. The video I've posted it somewhere on my timeline on Facebook. Please do go through and listen. Yeah, I see some people are joining me already. I see yeah, Butikujo, thank you so much for tuning in. You are here. I see, yes, referring to the song. Those are the lyrics of the song. Then I see also Pastor Clement, he's also here. Pastor, you are the main man. You are my guy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, he says it's very chilly in Pretoria. The same applies to Polokwane. I'm like layered up. I'm layered up, and then I've got my t-shirt, and then I've got my vest, and then yeah, this is me inviting you to come in and tune in. And then of course I've got Latani, who is also here tuning in. Thank you so much, guys, for just working this Monday morning with me. I know that we're going to have a blast, and you know why I say we're going to have a blast. I make it a point that whenever we start our Mondays, and this is what I want, for each and every one of us. I would like us to start our Mondays with, positivity, start our Mondays with the right mental frame. If we don't, then we're going to have a problem, most probably with the whole week. So if you make it a point that your day, starts out with a bang, and you let nothing really just deter you, and you let nothing really just come into your space, and just make your mind dear Mekar. Regardless, you can't control what happens to you. But yes, things will come your way. You've got to know how to deal with them. So on Instagram, I'm joined by Dineo too. This is my friend. Hi, Dineo. Hi, Dineo. It's so lovely to have you, Mkhotsoaka. And then I'm seeing here Bolena Masetle Shakong, joining all the way, listening all the way from Midrand. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I've got Success Munyamane as well, also tuned in. Guys, he says it's a beautiful song right there. It is indeed. So let's not waste any time, guys. What are we speaking about on this beautiful Monday morning? We are still on mental wellness. And you will realize with all the things that we've been speaking about since we started Motivational Mondays, we've been packaging our topics in a way that will encourage us, to have a right frame of mind, to have the right mindset, so to speak. Because really, let's face it, life is tough, life is difficult. The challenges that we come across, the things that we encounter on a day-to-day basis, if we look at those things, and when I say look, I mean focus, zoom in on them, make what is happening the centerpiece of our lives, then really we are not going to conquer. We are not going to be victorious. We are not going to be able to, have ever a smile on our face. If you just look around you, what's happening? A lot of bad things are happening. But should that really be the tone that we set for our lives? Should they set the tone for our lives rather? Should they dictate to us how we view life? Because as I said in one of the previous visual casts, I said, you view life according to the lens of your mind. If your mind tells you I'm tired, if your mind tells you whatever your mind tells you, then most definitely, you're going to find that that is how you approach life. That is how you approach life. Welcome, Sis Judith Mashiani. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. So, guys, I want us to talk about going back to the topics that we've had. We spoke on hopelessness and helplessness, and we spoke on suicide being a pandemic, and we spoke on we've covered quite a range of topics, and we spoke about knowing the power of hope, and we also last week were on the topic, knowing the power of knowing the power of knowing your purpose. When you know your purpose, your life is more structured. When you know your purpose, your life is more performance driven. And when I say performance driven, I base it on the following: your life and your actions are fueled mainly by your purpose. Why are you doing what you are doing? That is a question that you need to ask yourself. Why am I doing this? What do I stand to benefit from this? And it is from that, when you have the answer to that, then it tells you, I'm doing this because I am going. That is where I'm going. This is where the direction of my life is going. So whatever you do, you are working towards fulfilling that. Whatever you do, you are working towards achieving and realizing that goal. So today we are speaking about, are you existing? Are you living? Really? Are you living? That's the topic. Are you living or are you just existing? Because for many of us, I tell you this, people are just existing. People are just occupying space. People are just, randomly being here on earth. I did, when I did my poster with Pastor Clement, I said, and my management, I said to them, let's tackle this issue today of living or just existing. And I said, this is the code that I used for this poster. Let me find it. A lot goes in my head. So I did this on Friday. So yeah, it's important. And many people tend to think that living and existing are the same thing, and they are not. So what I said on on Friday when we did the poster, I said, the beauty of living is in knowing that you can always start over. You can always start over in whatever you're doing. If you fail, you can always rise up and start again. And I said that, and there's always a chance for something better to come along. That is the beauty of living. If you are not living, and I will explain it in detail, if you are not living, then nothing is enjoyable for you. Is living synonymous with existing? Many people think they are the same, but I can assure you now, they are not the same. They are not synonyms. When you live, you are savoring every moment. You take in every moment of what happens in your life. Everything that you encounter becomes an experience. Everything that you go through becomes, a memory. It occupies a special place in the bank of your memory. It occupies a special place in your heart. Whether it be a good thing, whether it be a bad thing, but you live in it. You take in that moment and you dwell in it. And you when I say you dwell in it, I don't mean you get stuck. No, I mean you take in literally. You breathe the air. If you are outside and in a beautiful scenery, you take the time to notice where you are and you breathe in the air of where you are. That is what your existence is. Your living is. Your living comes down to every minute of it being a joyful experience for you. Whether you experience pain in that moment, whether you experience heartbreak in that moment, whether you experience disappointment in that moment, whether you accomplish something great in that moment, it boils down to it being something that you can entrench in your heart. So if it's a disappointment, if it's a painful experience, what happens to you when you are existing? You say, what can I learn from this? You say, what can the lesson be behind this? How can I grow from this? Right. So for many people, someone can say to me, but you must exist in order to live. That is true. You must exist in order to live. You must be formed, you must be born, you must have, all the organs, you must be able to breathe, so that you can take in life, the air, you can take in oxygen that gives you life. But existence and living differ in the sense that when someone is existing, they are just really surviving. You are just really surviving. You take every minute as a minute that you have to endure. You are visually going through every single day and every moment of your existence, right? With dread, right? So you get into the what can I put it, automation or robotic existence, if I can put it that way. So you get in the mode of eat, sleep, wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, clothe, be sheltered, go to work. You are just survival. So when you leave, basically, it's quite different from someone who exists, right? Because when you exist, exist, you do the things that you need to do in order to stay alive. So you need to go to work in order for you to stay alive. So you need to do what? You need to eat in order for you to stay alive. But you will not be enjoying the food. You will not be enjoying that experience. You will not be enjoying the drive to go to a new place, and just go and sit in a new restaurant. You will just be eating because you need to feed yourself. When you are alive, unfortunately, on the contrary to someone who exists, you do the things that you want to do in order to enjoy your life. So existence is different from living, in that with living, you really are enjoying what you do. You really are enjoying the life that you live every minute of every day. And funny enough, it 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 it, it it all comes from a simple it all comes from a simple place, really, for you to be able to say, I'm enjoying my life or I'm living. If you look at people, and I can give you a simple example, a person who has no direction of where they are going, they hardly enjoy anything that they are doing, right? The sad part about all of this is that from the very beginning of our creation, God has it. God's plan for us is for us to enjoy our lives. Whatever He gives so that we can enjoy. Even life itself, it is a gift that we need to enjoy. It is a gift that we need to appreciate every day. Just the grace of waking up, just the fact that His grace sustains you, just the fact that you live to see another day. It is something for you to be grateful for. So life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is not meant to be endured. I repeat myself. Life is meant to be enjoyed. It is not meant to be endured. The minute you are enduring your life, then you must know that something it has to change. There is a CEO, Steve Jobs, the CEO of Apple, and the founder and the chairperson. He said in one of the books that he authored, he said for the past 33 years, he has looked himself in the mirror every morning and asked himself, if today were to be the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? Right? If today was the last day that I am living, would I want to do what I am doing currently? And whenever the answer to that was no, for too many days in a row, he says, I knew at that point that something has got to change. It was time for change. So that is what we need to also do. Take stock of our lives. If you are to do what you are doing every single day of your life, carry on doing it. On every day of your life. If you were to wake up and have to go to work and come to that place where you're waking, and tomorrow it will be the same, and the next day it will be the same, and the next day it will be the same, would you go back to that place every day? If you say no, then there is something wrong with you. It signals immediately that it's a time for change. If it is a yes, then you know what? It means I'm really enjoying my workspace. I'm really enjoying what I am doing. I'm really loving this that I am doing. And that is where we all need to aspire and get to. We need to strive to get to that place where all the things that we do, we enjoy being around the people that we spend time with. We enjoy being around the families that we have. We enjoy being around the workspaces that we work in. We enjoy being around the church people that we fellowship with. We enjoy being, doing the things that we do, And if I'm going to take this a little bit deeper, with you. It boils down to a simple issue of purpose. Purpose. When you give someone the courage and you give someone the ability and the definition and the understanding of why they are here, and you give someone the understanding of what they are doing, then it says, it changes the whole spectrum, and it changes the whole purpose, it changes the whole movement, it changes the whole performance that, and the drive that they approach life with. So a person who is living, they know their purpose. Why are they doing what they are doing? Secondly, they pursue their purpose. They pursue it every day. Whatever they do on a daily basis, it is aimed at that. It is striving more and more towards achieving their purpose. And as a result, their engagement, it becomes more meaningful. How they live their lives becomes more meaningful. They vigorously, if I can put it that way, attack their lives actively. They are not just bystanders in their lives. No, 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 no. But they become active participants of their lives. They will wake up with a zeal, to go out there and to conquer. They will wake up with a drive to go out there and to do what they need to do. And that, they will carry enthusiasm in their spirit. They will carry joy. They will carry, appreciation for those moments and those activities that they need to do. It's because they have, they are enjoying doing what they are going to be doing. Even their activities, they control their lives. So they have a say and a control in what they are doing at the end of the day. And above all, they do or structure their time to do those things which they enjoy out of life. Right? These are people who are truly living. So their emotions also, they tend to be more passionate. They tend to feel more joy. They tend to be more enthusiastic about life. They tend to be, when you are existing, you have more interest in life. Your happiness levels also changes. Your contentment levels and your fulfillment levels, they also change. So people who are not only who are not only living who are not only existing but are living, they tend to even be able to maintain joy regardless of whatever situation that they are facing. So you find that they are going through a loss, but they maintain their joy. You find that they are going through a heartache, but they maintain their joy. So a person who is living savors every moment, takes it in. They can take a drive from here to Mahuba's Kloof, and they can take in the scenery around them. They can take in the air around them. They can take in the ambience around them. Why? Because the enthusiasm is there for life. The joy is there for life. The appreciation is there for life. And this is very much contrary then to someone who is living. Someone who is just, to someone who is just existing, pardon me. Someone who is just existing, the first the first problem with them becomes the fact that they don't have a purpose. So they don't know what they're doing. They don't know why they are not doing what they are not doing. They lack motivation for anything that they're supposed to be doing. So their engagement as well, they go through their days passively. Yes, very passively. So in other words, days and life happens to them. They live very mechanical lives. If I say mechanical, I mean a robotic, eat, work, go, sleep. Eat, work, clothes, bath, go to sleep. No moment of enjoyment. So life happens to them, even the activities that they surround themselves with, you find that what life happens to them, and they go through the emotions, trying to keep up with what life brings them. That's it. They find themselves mostly victim of circumstances, right? So in other words, if there's a disappointment or a setback that happens, they just must find themselves a way of coping. They are not going to take that disappointment in. They are not going to learn from that disappointment. They are not going to say, what could I do differently next time, from this disappointment? No, 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 no. Instead, what they are going to be all about is to wallow in and to sit in that disappointment. And at times you find that that disappointment just cripples them, and it just causes them to be, very unhappy, to be very unfulfilled. And unfortunately, with most of them, you find that that disappointment starts to define their daily lives. It starts to define, every moment of their life become defined by the disappointment that they suffered. So their feelings mostly, it's lack of joy, it's lack of passion, and yes, no feelings at all. You find that they have, they don't even have any feelings towards anything. They can't show enthusiasm. They can't show, happiness. They lack vitality, if I can put it that way. They lack inspiration. Nothing inspires them to wake up in the morning. So they don't even attack their days. When I say attack, I mean it in a loose sense. I mean that, actively wake up, actively says, this is the day that the Lord has created. I'm joyous, I'm delighting in this day. No, they rather just sit down there. Lack of enthusiasm, nothing is motivating them to move forward. That is someone who is just existing. They take in air, they take, oxygen. But at the end of the day, that person is a person who is alive but dead. And I'm sure, in all of our lives, we've encountered people like that. We've encountered people who are alive but are dead. When I say dead, they are dead in the sense that they enjoy nothing. So nothing will ever give them life. Nothing will ever give them, enthusiasm. Nothing will ever make them alive again. So they allow the experiences of life, and they allow, the mechanism of their daily lives to overshadow anything. So there will never be joy. There will never be, um, peace. Yes, peace. And another thing that I think I should mention is the fact that with people who are just, existing, you find that you can find them to be very quiet, and you conclude and assume that, no, these people are peaceful, while it is not in like that at all. You find that this person is numb emotionally. You find that this person is has shut themselves up, to anything else. So the quietness and the lack of activity in your life or in their life is what we would then interpret as peace. And we say, yo, that person is so peaceful. Yo, that person doesn't go anywhere. Yo, that person doesn't mix with people. And they, and they are always sitting at home. So you reach that conclusion, not being aware that in actual fact, this person is just existing. They are dead on every other aspect, socially, spiritually, you know, even in their communities. They don't participate in life. They don't participate in any way in anything. So it's easy to interpret such a person as a peaceful person, whereas you find that indeed, truly, truly, the true state of the matter is they don't have anything inside that can bring them joy. So they are actually not peaceful, they are just wallowing in their sorrows. And the sad part is, it's a very sorrowful state to be in. It's very sorrowful. And it calls for each one of us to do what? Self-introspection. Are you living? Really, are you living? Are you, if today was the last day of your life, if today was the very last day of your living self, Mampela, God gave you notice that it's the end of you today. Would you go out and do what you're doing now? Would you go to the same place and spend your time with the same people? Would you go to the same environment and be in that scenery? Would you do the things that you are going to do now, the same way that you are doing now? If the answer is no, then I want you to start looking at your life like this. what would be the one thing that I were to do if this was my last day on earth? If I had no more days, in my life, what would I spend today doing? Because that would most definitely have the passion. It would carry the enthusiasm for you. It would bring you joy. It would bring you, laughter. It would bring you happiness. Even it would bring you peace. It would bring you contentment. It will bring you fulfillment. So, what is the one thing? That one thing that you would be doing today, if it was the last day of your life? Can you answer that question? Truly introspecting on yourself. Can you really answer that question? Many people now, they can't. Many people now, they're afraid of answering that question honestly, in an honest way. Because if they did, then believe me, they would have to, you know, in some way make some serious adjustments. And unfortunately for all of us, we are creatures of habit. Some of us, our habits have existed for so long that we just come to that place where we say, you know what, it's fine, I'm giving up, I'm okay with the unhappiness, I am fine with it. In other words, what am I saying? I'm saying that we resign our lives. Yes, there are people who have resigned their lives. They resign truly, and just give up on the kind of lives that they have, and say, what more can I do? This is the end of me. Where else can I go? This is the end of me. But I want you from today to start making a turnaround. Because if you go on like that, if you go on living, if you go on, not, just existing, just mechanically getting through one day to the next, those are the things that in the long run create such an unpleasantness for us. They create such unhappiness for us, to the extent that by the time that we want to start doing something about it, or start entertaining the level of our unhappiness, we have gradually slipped into depression. We have gradually slipped into a state of anxiety. We have gradually slipped into a far off reaching place that our mind tells us, you can get out of this. It's very important that as people we don't live lives that are not fulfilling to us. And many of us, when we get through life, we come to that place where, we start letting the things around us, we start letting the people around us, we start even letting our marital statuses, the fact that I am married, may even cause some, or even cause me, to give up on myself, to give up on who I am, to lose my own identity, to lose my own purpose. And as a result, I become caught up mechanically in my everyday existence, that I lose sight of the prettiness, of the love, of the joy that is in small experiences that make a life. Like I say, there is no person really that must resign themselves to unhappiness. The beauty of living is coming to know that I can always start afresh. If I'm not happy in who I am, if I am not happy in what I am doing, I can always just go and start afresh. I can always start afresh with the knowledge that something better will come on, something better will happen, something better will take place in my life. There's a paraplegic Olympian who said once, he said that, no matter what life throws at you, no matter how unhappy you may become, no matter how unpleasant your life can be, there is always something that you can succeed at. You can start it today and you can make a success of it today, this very day. That is the beauty of living. If you give up, then you are slowly slipping into a state of existence. So someone may say to me, but Pastor, how do I know which am I? How do I know if I'm just existing or if I am really living? So help me so that I'm able to identify where do I fall. Right? The first and most integral question becomes, who are you? When you say, Ntabi saying, who are you speaking about? And that question you can answer by looking at one simple thing. What controls your life? What drives your life? Who or what controls your life? Who is in charge of you? For many people, their jobs are in charge of them. For many people, their marriages are in charge of them. For many people, their disappointments are in charge of them. So they drive everything about their lives. They drive everything that they stand up to do in the morning. Who or what controls your life? And for many, people are defined by the experiences that they go through. People are defined by the heartaches and the pain that they go through. So sadly, many of us have allowed our disappointments and our pains to control our lives, such that we no longer live in the little moments that are supposed to bring us joy. We no longer live in the little moments that are supposed to bring us happiness. No, we give up and we slip into a state of existence. If you can answer that question, that is good. If you can't, then you need to take stock of your life. And I always encourage people this, and I say, you know what, you need to regularly do an audit of your life. You regularly need to take stock of what is happening around you. Are you moving? Whatever direction you are in, what fuels you to move in that direction? What is pushing you to move in that direction? Which brings me to the next question. Why am I doing what I do? Why am I doing what I do? Why are you, helping other people? Why are you learning that new skill? Why are you, bathing and going to work in the morning? Simple things. For some, even going to work in the morning. For some, even just going to work in the morning, right? It's not something that they can't answer you. So if you answer that question with, I am going to work in the morning because I need to survive, because I need to make a living for myself, it shouldn't be about that. For you to start living, it has to escalate beyond, I am doing what I'm doing because I need money. Motivator for you. If money is the motivator for you, then you are really surely not enjoying any moment of what you are doing. You are really not enjoying any moment of where you are going. Sorry, I just needed a slip of water. Right. So the third question becomes now, am I following my dreams? What did growing up, we all had dreams. We all wanted to, we all had a vision of where we were going. We all had a vision of what we wanted to achieve. We all had a vision of what we wanted our adulthood to be like. So we all had dreams as children. And are you living that dream right now? Are you living, realizing your dreams? If not, some of us had to settle. We had to settle for where we are, because we couldn't realize our dreams, so we had to settle. I'll give you a simple example. When I was growing up, I always wanted to go into actuarial sciences. So I wanted to do actuarial studies, and I loved, actuarial studies and figures and all. But unfortunately, I could not my love for figures could not translate to a pass. I battled with mathematics. I battled so much to a point where, I just ended up doing the commercial subjects. And again, I didn't even succeed. Even with my accounting, it was so bad that I just decided, no, 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 no. This is too much of a struggle for me. So I ended up going into the legal field by default. I ended up going to register for law. And my registering for law was not because it was my first passion, but fast forward to my life now. I love the law. I have such a passion for the law that if anyone were to remind me of my dreams, I can flatly say that would not have been me. I am so much in my element as I practice the law. I am so much in my space, so comfortable with what I do daily, that it feels like, a part of me is missing if I were to step away from the law. I love what I do, and although it did not start out as my dream, it has become my dream. I am living the dream life for me. In my career, in pastoring, in the community projects that I run, I am living my dream. I would see myself in no other place. So, one of the key things that you need to revisit is, what are your dreams? Are they still valid, in the sense that can you still rise up and still go for them? For some of us, we've got to, we are at a place where we have learned to love where we are. Now, if you are that person that has learned to love where they are, like me, you can love where you are and have so much passion for where you are, to such an extent that, it becomes your dream. If you don't see it as a disappointment. Yes, I repeat it. You can have passion, you can have love. You can grow to love and be passionate and be enthusiastic about where you are in life, to a point where you start living it as a dream. It becomes your dream. No longer harboring on those failed dreams that you used to have, but embracing where you are now, loving it to such an extent that you know what? It is you. Every part of you lives, breathes, and carries what you do with you. Another thing, before I get on this one, check, go back. What are your dreams? Where have you lost your dreams? Is it possible to revive your dreams? And I think that for many people, you will be shocked to find that yes, it is possible. I saw yesterday on social media platforms that an 82-year-old grandmother graduated. She got 5 distinctions for a degree. And I was like, at the age of 82, she went back and she said, I want to do this. I want to achieve what I couldn't achieve as a young girl. So nothing, should stand in your way and say, give up. Nothing should stand in your way and say, resign yourself to this life that you are living. Hence, I say, the beauty of living is knowing that you can always start afresh. You can always go back and finish those things that you did not finish. Because this now answers the second, the fourth question that will help you determine which one are you. Are you living or are you just existing? And it is the following. Are you living up to your full potential? Many of us are not. You are living up to your full potential when you perform at your maximum, when you do the things that are well within your abilities, when you give all of yourself to what you are doing, you are living life at your full potential. But when you don't, and when you shortcut, even yourself, some people shortcut even themselves. They shortcut they shortcut by invalidating their life, validating their skills, where you find that someone says, no, I know I can't do this. This is for Bumamang, but they haven't even tried it out. They haven't even tried to see if it will work for them. They haven't even applied themselves, Then they don't realize their full potential. We need to apply ourselves. Right? When I say apply yourself, I mean the following. Bring yourself fully within your ability in whatever position that you occupy. I repeat, you need to bring yourself fully in your ability to whatever position that you occupy. So when you are appointed in the role of motherhood, you bring yourself fully, love according to the measure of the ability that you have to love within that role. So if you are brought to pastor, called to pastor, bring yourself fully into that role, embracing it fully, according to your ability. One author said, In life, you need not be the best. No, but you just need to do your best. So whatever you are called upon to do, in whatever setting, be it professional, be it personal, be it in the societies that we live in, step into those roles fully. You know, I'm tempted to go to my Bible, and the Bible says to me that when you read that, I love the parable of the talents, where Jesus is telling his disciples about the rich man who went away and he gave 5 talents to his servant, another 2, and then again he gave to the one talents, and and when he came back, they had worked those talents. The one had invested and he was giving him 10 talents instead of 5. And when you read that parable, it says something very integral. It says he gave them according to their what? He gave them, and when they generated for him, they generated according to their ability. Meaning that to the one he gave 5, he never expected 10 talents. No, 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 no. This one he gave 5. So he was able to generate 5 more. So his ability was 5. So he fully operated within the full potential of his 5. The same applies to the one who had 2 talents. He was given 2 and he brought back to his master 2 more, fully within his potential. So the one servant was given 1 talent. He didn't bring anything to the master potential. Instead, he said, I know you, master, to like to plow, to reap where you didn't sow. So he never used his ability. So many of us are wasting away. We are wasting away at the talents that God gives us. We are wasting away at the gifts that God brings to us. The gifts that can transform our lives, the gifts that can transform the lives of others. We are wasting away. No gift has ever multiplied. No gift has ever been useful when it has been stored away. It has been useful when it has been used, at the service of other people. So, what are your abilities? What is it that you can do? And I refuse, I'm telling you this, I refuse to believe that all of us on earth can just be without any skill. There are people who are talented. Some talents we are born with. And we've got to go and find out, what is it that I am good at? What is it that I can do? What is it that I know? Some of us are not necessarily educated. Some of us did not necessarily have the ability to go to further our education, but maybe due to our family backgrounds, maybe due to this and that. But what are you good at? Is there something that you are good at that you can show and point and say, I can work this gift? Is it baking, perhaps? Is it art? Can you paint? What is it that you're good at? Can you sing? There are many of us who, despite the disadvantage of not having a formal tertiary education, not having a formal ability of furthering our studies, have been blessed with gifts. How can we work those gifts for our advantage? How can we work those gifts, for our growth? How can we work those gifts, for the benefit of society, for the benefit of our lives, right? And then that 5th issue becomes question that you need to apply in order to identify whether you are just existing or you are living. Isn't it? Remember, we are talking here about the topic, are you existing? Which means, are you just taking air? Are you just occupying space? Or are you living? Which means, are you taking in every experience of your life with joy? Are you taking on every responsibility of your life with such enthusiasm? So it becomes now, am I doing what I want to do or what I have to do? 2 questions. Am I doing what I want to do? If it were up to me, would I wake up and go and do what I'm doing now? Or am I doing this just because I have to? I have no choice. Listen, all she says, hey, mama, we are wasting our way. Something great. It's so true. None of us are here without gifts. All of us carry a special gift. Are we using it or are we just wasting away? If you were to wake up now, would you do what you are doing now? If you ask me, if I had a Monday and I had to sit down and do, would I be doing motivational Mondays? Yes, I would be. And there are times when, many times when I wanted to give up on motivational Mondays. There are many times when I wanted to say, you know what, I can't. Even the first week, I had challenges. We were supposed to kick it off on the last week of Feb, and I sat down with my team and I said, "Hey, things are not going well. Let's postpone it to the first week of March." And you know what? I contemplated postponing it again the first week of March, but I decided, until when I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna fight every element that is standing against me. The other day I was coming up and then the laptop crashed on the stairs. And I was delayed in terms of starting. I had to look for another laptop and I had to reconnect and I had to do this and this and that. And last week again we were on and then we lost power and our connection to the internet, and then our internet was not right, so we couldn't use the devices of technology that we use. So we just said, I was with my husband last week, we just said, you know what, we're going to stream with the phone. So a lot of things that I find myself fighting to achieve, to do, they show the passion that I have for them. And again, I ask you, are you doing what you want to do? Because if it's something that you want to do, believe me, your heart will pump for it. Your enthusiastic level, your pride will be in what you are doing. You will want to deliver the best. You will want to showcase the best. You will want, when people say, that house was built by Ntabiseng as a building contractor, you want them to see the best of your hands in the project that you are delivering. You would want people to see the best of your ability on your sketches. If you are an artistic person, you would want them, you would want whatever it is that you are doing to apply yourself fully in it, and to apply yourself in a way that brings or uplifts the other people who come across your work, as opposed to doing what you have to do. Doing what you have to do, I'm telling you now, you are just doing what you need to do to survive. Finish. You just need to do what you need to do to survive. It's not nice to just do what you need to do to survive. You don't put in the effort. You don't put in the, you just rush job. It doesn't matter what people are gonna say. It doesn't matter how people are gonna view it. Attitude. Then you are a person who is what? Existing. You are not living. You are not living. Because now, if there's one thing that I would like you to know, when you are living, guys, when you are or existing, it comes across in what you take or present to the world. When you are living or existing, let me rephrase, whether you are living or existing, it comes across, it shows in what you present to the world. If it is your job that you are just reading, it shows even in the quality of work that you produce. If you are ready to be in your marriage, it shows in the life the quality of the life that you have in your marriage. If it is in ministry where you are reading, you are just existing, you are just barely there, you are just there to survive, it shows in the quality of things that you do. So there's no way that you can hate something, that you cannot be passionate about it, that you cannot be enthusiastic over it, and it shows up as the opposite. When you present it to the world, it will show exactly. Guys, have you ever heard the saying, or maybe it's my saying, what we do brings up our emotions. People can read our emotions from what we do. Have you ever heard that? If I make a cup of tea, and chefs will tell you this, the love of food that a chef has, you can tell from the plate that he puts before you. If he loves food, if he is passionate about what he is doing, you will see it in the preparation, you will see it in how the food is handled, you will see it in how the plate before you comes to you. If they don't care and they don't mind, and you know what, you will see it as well from the plate. So what am I saying, guys? I'm saying that it's important to start doing what you love. When you do what you love, I'm telling you, you can do it forever and ever and ever. You can do it for 84 years. You can do it for 35 years. You can do it for such an unlimited period of time. Your attitude and your love towards it will never change. The other question that I'm asking you is, Do I love waking up each morning, eager to start my day? People who are doing what they love, who are living and taking up everything, every minute of their existence, and taking it up in their hearts and taking it up in their scenery, and enjoying what they are doing. They look forward to waking up and going to do it. If it's at the office where you enjoy your work, you enjoy just rising up and going to the office to do your work. If so make it a habit of doing those things only that you love. Don't be that person who does things because I have to. Do the things that you love, because they will fuel you to wake up. They will motivate you to rise up in your day. They will say to you, you know what? Hi, man, this is another wake up, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do. They will give a funky spirit. They will give a funkiness and a joy to your heart. You will wake up. You know what? You will wake up, and your spirit will be singing, "This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made." I'm not a singer, but that is my take on it. Right? So you will wake up feeling, "Oh my God, this is another day. I'm going out there. I'm gonna kill it at the office. This is another day. I'm going out there. I'm gonna kill it at my business. I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna grow my business. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this." Then it shows your level of enthusiasm. It's there. Have you set your own goals, or have you allowed someone else to set them for you? It goes back to your purpose. Your purpose is aligned to your goals. Many of us don't know why we are living. We don't know what we are supposed to be doing. We don't know what we are supposed to be achieving. We don't know what the difference it is that we are supposed to, what difference is it that we are supposed to make. So as a result, we don't have goals. We don't even have visions. We don't even have expectations. You just sit there and you become, you know what, we'll just see where the day takes me. If there's one thing about me that I can tell you, I always say to people, I know where I'm gonna be, I know what I'm gonna be doing, and I know why I'm doing it. The minute that I do not know the whys, and I ask someone why, and they can't tell me why they want me there, and I ask someone, okay, why, and they can't tell me that because your vision, we saw this vision that you're busy with, and we went and looking at that vision, it's aligned to what we do. It's aligned to the values that we want to introduce via this product or this platform. Then I'm in. But if it's not like that, what am I doing? Why am I wasting my time? Everything that is not, that you do goallessly, anything that you do aimlessly, it is a waste of your time. It becomes a waste of your time because your purpose is not aligned to it, because your passion is not aligned to it, because your performance is not aligned to it. So at the end of the day, even how you feel, even how you do things, even how you want to approach a life, it should be aligned to all of those things. It should be aligned to all of those things. Your movement must be directly aligned. You understand? It must be directly aligned to your goals. That way, you will find that you are even good with time management. You are even good with time management simply because you don't allow your time to be wasted. What are your goals? What am I going to achieve in going there? What am I going to achieve in doing this? You understand? When someone has set goals for you, you become a slave to them because they push you to achieve those goals. They push you to ride out achievement of those goals. And in turn, what does it do to you? It breeds in you resentment. It's resentment. So it's important that you set your goals. It's important that you have a vision board. Every year I start my year and I say, this year I want to achieve 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can say to you, most of the things that I want to achieve, they are on track. I said, I've got 4 things that I want to achieve this year. 2 of them, one I'm already working on, the other has already happened, and then I've got 2 that I'm already working on, and I've even put myself through deadlines. It helps to have vision. It helps to have a vision. It says we are working towards something, so we cannot afford to give up. So we cannot afford to slant out. We have to keep on working, right? Right. Am I moving forward or merely running in places and stagnating? Many of us, many of us, one place. Sikhale, one place. We don't even make progress. We are not even aware that we are not making progress. Yes, we are not even aware that we are not making progress. So for many people, you find that the problem with their lives is because they don't have goals, they are standing at one place and progressively they don't even realize that they are not progressing. It's very important that you have, a life, that you have a goal, and then you pave your way forward. You set your goals, and then you monitor how you are achieving them, so that when there is something that needs to be adjusted in the plans, something which is not working, you are able to say, okay, we are still working towards this goal, but here and there it's not working. What can we do differently? What can we change? Because we must constantly monitor ourselves, to constantly adapt, to constantly change what is not working for us, and to constantly improve where there needs to be improvement. So if you're not mindful of your progress in life, if you're not mindful of where you are going, then it's probably because you have no purpose, and as a result, you have no goals. So you are just someone who's what? Existing from day to day to day to day to day without any progress. Lastly, am I basically a free person? Do I feel free, or do I feel trapped? If the life that you're living makes you feel trapped, it's time for change. If the life that you're living makes you feel that, you know what, I'm suffocating, it's time for change, then you are just living, maintaining the mechanism of your life, not enjoying anything. If you are free, a free agent, free flowing, loving every minute of your day, then basically you are someone who is living. Essentially, I believe you are someone who is living. So check those things, answer those questions about yourself. It will help you identify which one are you, where do you fall. Because I can tell you this, if you are not towards something, if you are not enjoying life, if you are not working towards something, if you don't have a purpose and a vision and goals and where you want to see yourself go and all of that, I can tell you now, it's most probably going to be the case that you're going to end up looking at the quality of your life and feeling disappointed. And when you feel let down by the quality of the life that you are living, then you get to that place where you say, it's not worth it anymore. I don't want to carry on like this. And that sets you slowly into depression. Because people don't wake up just depressed. Eh? People don't wake up just with a mental unwellness. No, it starts with small things. And in as much as it's small things, starting from the point when we talked, we spoke about hopelessness, we spoke about lack of enthusiasm and helplessness, and then we spoke about, not knowing your purpose, and we spoke not having hope. Those are the things that gets you to a point where your mind is now depressed. You can't handle the disappointment anymore of your life. So, what is the way forward for you? Then it becomes, I'm just suicidal at the end of the day. So, it gets to you. How much you don't achieve gets to you. Whereas having major achievements, whereas having accomplishments, it basically starts with having goals. It basically starts with having a purpose. And that will determine the quality of the life that you have. The quality of the life that you have. If you did not in any way, perhaps, get my last podcast or visual cast, we did one where we spoke about the power of knowing your purpose. Go to that podcast. It's down here somewhere. I think it was last week's. It's down here on Monday last week. We talked about that. There is great power in knowing your purpose, because it's not only knowing why you're here, it's not only knowing, what you're supposed to do with your life, but it's also, going to influence what you need to do to get there. It's also going to influence the company you keep. It's also going to influence the investment you make in yourself. It's also going to influence the investment you make in others who are going to contribute to your own development. It's a whole spectrum of things connected together. It's a whole spectrum of things, each line connected to another line. But it all starts with knowing, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? What is expected of my life? What are even your own expectations of yourself? What do you expect of yourself? Do you expect nothing of yourself? I think today's topic was very thought-provoking for many. I want to just conclude by saying the scriptures to you. Firstly, before I go into the scriptures, I wish we can all realize that life is meant to be enjoyed. Being alive is a grace, being alive is a gift from God. Being alive is such a privilege right now, especially when the mortality rate of people has really just taken a knock. People are dying younger and younger. People are taking their own lives, and people are having such negativity in their mindset. But if we could just get to the understanding that the privilege of life itself, it's such, we wake up and some people are dead. We wake up and some people are sick and they have succumbed to their injuries and to their illness. Some are wounded and they've succumbed to their wounds. If only we start realizing that it's a privilege to be alive, then we can move from a place of gratitude. When you move from a place of gratitude, you want to start, what can I do, to make, to show appreciation? What can I do to change the lives of others as well, right? The Apostle Paul says, he says these words in the book of Romans 14. And I wish this is what we can all understand, that, God has expectations out of us. It's only fair that we should have expectations out of ourselves as well. And, if you can align your expectations and your purposes and align them to those which God has for you, I'm telling you, you are on another streak. You are on a winning streak. The Apostle Paul says that if we live for the Lord. I so wish that you can understand that the quality of your life, it is for the Lord. When you are enjoying life and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're bringing honor and glory to the name of the Lord. And when you do good, when you achieve great things, the name of the Lord becomes glorified. So I wish that we can learn that. We can learn that going forward, whatever achievement that we make, it is for the honor and the glory of the Lord. We do nothing of our own ability. We do nothing of our own knowledge. We do nothing of our own power. The Bible speaks in the book of Zechariah, where the prophet says, it is not by my mind. It is not, where the word of God speaks and says through the prophet, it's not by might. It is not by power, but it is by my spirit. So God is the one who enables us to do things. And I want to go back to the scripture where we say that it is according to the ability that God has put in you. God has put some skills in you, and he expects you to use them for the profit of mankind. He expects you to use them for your own survival, for your own profit, for your own sustenance. Not even survival, sorry, for your own sustenance. Right. Then, again, when I look at my scriptures, there is a Bible verse where the Apostle Paul, speaking to the church in Philippi, he writes to them and he says, for me to live is Christ and to die is gain. He was at a point where he was probably where a lot of what was happening around him was wearing him out. But what I love about this apostle of God is that he never allowed it to get to him. He says these words. He says he is torn between life and he's torn between death. It's in the book of Philippians chapter 1. He says, I'm torn between the two, whether to live or to die. And then he goes and he says he doesn't know which one is better by far. But he says, but it is more necessary for me that I remain in my body. In other words, it is more necessary for me that I remain alive. And then he goes on further to say, because in another version, he says, it is more profitable that I remain alive. So I'm saying to you today, it's very profitable for you. It's very profitable for others. It's profitable for the kingdom of God that you remain alive. Take every moment, savor in it, enjoy the moment, live every moment as if it is your last moment on earth. Because every time you do that, the Apostle Paul said again in the book of Philippians, he says that, convinced of this, I know that I will remain and I will continue with all of you for your progress and joy in the faith. And above all, he says that, so that through my being with you again, your boasting in Jesus Christ will abound on account of me. There are people who will not be able to glorify God. There are people who will not know the power of God until we start moving in our existing, in our full livelihood. There are people who will not know the power of God. There are people who will not know the power of resilience, the power of faith, the power of hope, until we start moving in our livelihood. And I say our livelihood, I mean our joy, our peace, our kindness, our full enthusiasm, living a full rounded life. When we do that, we bring honor to God. Why? Because he says that I gave all things in the book of Timothy to you for your enjoyment. You cannot live a life of pure existence and enjoy. You cannot live a life of pure existence and marvel in it. You cannot live a life of just you cannot live just a life of getting by and just it will wear you down, it will drag you down, it will get to a point where there is no need for you to even get out of bed anymore because you will be depressed. So make an effort, my darling. Make an effort, my dear sister. Make an effort, my dear brother, that you rise up, that you wake up, that that you step it up and you do what? You rise up every morning. You rise up every morning and face life with enthusiasm. Armed with knowledge, armed with your goals, armed with applying yourself, the full application of yourself, bringing the full you to whatever situation that life presents to you, whatever door that life opens for you, and not wallowing and not sitting in your disappointments. The good Lord bless you. I believe that today was quite a mouthful that I said. For the first time, we went on this podcast 1 hour 16 minutes. I normally do an hour for 58 minutes, and I normally do how many minutes, but we went over an hour. So I believe that today lives are going to be transformed. You cannot just exist, you've got to start living, you've got to start enjoying. It's in the little experiences. Go out there, go and sit in your garden, go out there, go to Mahobaskloof, go out there, go to Johannesburg, sit in the sceneries, go out there, go and visit people, see. Sometimes when we see people who are not as blessed as we are, it's when we start appreciating the blessings really that life brings unto us. Gratitude is one of the core things that changes our attitude to life. Gratitude. If you're dreading living, then you have no purpose, and that is what is eating away at you. Nothing is making you looking forward every morning to get out of bed. So it's time, really, my sister. It's time, my brother, that you changed something, change the narrative, change the way that you do things, change the outlook that you have. And it starts with very little things. It may start with what? Just going to the spa. It may start with what? Just going to the salon. It starts with what? Pampering and making yourself feel good. It starts with maybe reading that book and letting that book help you, letting that book help you find your purpose, helping getting a life coach to help you determine and understand what is my vision for myself for 2022? What is my vision for myself for this year? What do I want to achieve? Right. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'm so happy you tuned in. So I thank you so much for everyone who has stayed with us. I know this is quite a long podcast, but you know what? We are trying to get ourselves in the right mental framework. Let's not get ourselves, down. Let's not get ourselves to be weary, but let us stand up. Let us, let us stand up. Let us be. Let us stand up, let us rise, let us go and achieve all of those things that we want to achieve for ourselves. Let us rise up and go and beat up those negative elements in our space. So guys, I want us to you are free to interact with us, and I see comments are coming through. We thank you for listening. We thank you, all of you who were tuned in. And I see someone is saying, I request a song. Guys, some of the songs I don't have the right to, I don't even have the copyright to. I can't even use them here without myself getting sued. So I don't want to embark on that. Remember that there are protocols and there are observations to be made before we even just go on and start broadcasting someone's song on our platform. According to the media thing is, we are, I think, supposed to only broadcast the song for some couple of seconds, but the songs that I am using is the songs that we fully have the right to we have engaged the parties and we have requested them if we can use their songs. So I see someone is saying song request Omega Kuno Umudimo. I'm going to make the necessary request request next time. If we have resolved that with my team, then definitely I will be playing it more on air. So guys, I hope someone is was helped by this podcast. I hope someone is benefiting from this video that we did. Feel free to reach out to me on all my platforms. I'm Tabiseng Wepe on Facebook. I am Tabiseng I am Tabiseng Wepe Khata on Instagram. I'm also having a page on Instagram. It's Ntabis underscore space, where you can look into all the wellness things that we do, what we are up to, and where we are going, and the various platforms where we speak, and so on and so on. And I'm also available. I am very passionate about wellness. I'm passionate about teenage pregnancies. I am passionate about living your life's purpose, and I'm definitely passionate about domestic violence. Those are some of the things that I've lived through in my own experiences. If you know my book, The Mending of a Broken Vessel, here it is. I believe it's also appearing on your screens there. It chronicles my life, and it tells the story of what I went through. So those passions of mine are mainly influenced by where I have been. I speak on topics that I know, God has taken me on a journey through them, and I believe that I can be, a sound counsel for somebody going through the same journeys. So don't hesitate to reach out to me, my DM. You can also use the number 082 504 2027. I repeat, it's 082 504 2027. It's on that number where you can get in touch with my people and tell me what is it that you would like us to get involved in, what is it that you would like us to talk about. We welcome recommendations on the topics, and we would love, to meet you at your point of need. We want to bring light regarding those topics which you think are available to you. Guys, I really thank you for tuning in. I see that some of the comments are not there anymore. So whoever was able to get through with us up to this point, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much. Let's meet again next week. I want to also encourage you, whoever you are going through a difficult time, if you are facing a difficult time, get help. If you need psychological help, see your clinical psychologist. They are trained and equipped to assist you. I also want to encourage you, if you are going through difficulties, please do not hesitate to consult your pastors. Spiritually, they are the right people to assist you. It's not every pastor that I can recommend you go to counseling for, too, because some are not even counselors, qualified counselors. So make sure that wherever you go to counseling, it's at the right place, which you will get the proper advice. I also want to speak on behalf of every married woman who is going through abuse. I have been an abused woman myself. I know what it is to be abused in a marriage. I know what it is to be psychologically abused, even if I was abused in previous relationships, not in my marriage, but in previous relationships. I'm saying this to you, my sister: no marital status is worth your life. No marital status is worth your life. I repeat that. Do not stay in a marriage for the sake of, respect, for the sake of being, respected by your peers. Do not stay in a marriage for fear of judgment, a marriage that is posing harm and danger to you. Once a relationship of marriage between two people starts putting the safety of one in question, then you must know it is time to walk away. It is time to leave that marriage. So walk away with your life intact, walk away with your faculties fully operational, because if you don't, one day we will bury you. You can see the rate of domestic violence is going higher and higher. It is soaring. So don't be a statistics, my darling sister. We love you and we want to see you alive. It's not the first time with you. It won't be the last time with you. Have the sense to love yourself enough to know when an environment is not good for you, to know when an environment is not doing you any good, to know when a marriage is not saving you anymore. The good Lord bless you. The good Lord keep you. The good Lord carry you as we move forward, you know, with your week. I believe this is going to be a good week. I believe this is going to be an excellent week. The good Lord bless you. I trust you. I trust that you will be enjoying yourself. Okay, I see here that, okay, so we've got the copyright, we've got the agreement, we've got Yes, we've got the approval to play the song, so I'm gonna play the song of Omega, and then
Omodimo, Onetitaro, Ifileho, Moraela, Selema. Kamoya likongete.